Tonight, Nancy Pelosi saying she is canceling the State of the Union. The president saying, no, I am giving a State of the Union. So just exactly what's going to happen here on day 33 of the shutdown as we have a new caravan, another one heading towards our border tonight. Vice President Mike Pence told me about it. You have the president and Nancy Pelosi, everybody digging in their heels right now over this State of the Union. What's actually going to happen? Vice President Pence on all of it. Watch. So let me ask you, big vote tomorrow. Do you think that the government gets reopened at some point? I mean, is this just going to keep going on and on and on? I know that the president has put opportunities out there for them to negotiate. I'm discouraged because, I know, I come from a business background. I know in the business world, you negotiate, right?
Right.
You've got to have a back and forth conversation. But for whatever reason in D.C., negotiation isn't something that politicians are as, I guess, inclined to do. Why are they not engaging?
Well, first, Washington, D.C. is a place where negotiations take place. But right now, the Democrats refuse to negotiate. They refuse to even come to the table, even though we have a crisis on our southern border. Mm-hmm. As we sit here today, some 2,000 people a day are attempting to come into our country illegally on our southern border. That's 60,000 people a month. And for the first time ever, the majority of those are families and unaccompanied minors who in most cases have been taken advantage of by cartels and human traffickers who's taken cash from them to take them on the long and dangerous and often abusive journey north to our southern border. They entice them with promises that there are loopholes in American law. They entice them because we have an open and porous border. And President Trump made a commitment to the American people that we are going to secure our border. Mm-hmm. Part of that, Trish, means we're going to build a wall. Mm-hmm. As the president said, it will be a steel barrier on the southern border. It will provide a physical barrier. In this case, the president's calling for $5.7 billion to build a steel barrier in the 10 priority areas that the Department of Homeland Security has said are most needed. In addition to that, we need resources for additional Border Patrol agents, additional judges, additional facilities, humanitarian assistance. But in a spirit of resolving this partial government shutdown, which is impacting the lives of 800,000 dedicated federal employees, the president offered this last Saturday a bipartisan, common sense solution that, in addition to our priorities, included temporary relief for Dreamers in the DACA program and for those with temporary protective status. The president directed our negotiation team to put a package together that reflected his priorities of the wall and border security, but also included what have been priorities for Democrats. And I have to tell you, for Speaker Pelosi to reject the president's proposal before he gave his speech should tell the American people everything they need to know about the posture that Democrats have taken in Washington, D.C. The American people deserve better. 800,000 federal employees deserve better. We need to secure our border. We need to come together. We can deal with these other issues as well and make a step toward reforming a broken immigration system.
Wouldn't that be great?
But the time has come for the Democrats to come to the table, bring their ideas, and we will secure our border and reopen the government.
I can tell you, in some ways, I'm sort of surprised because I know how much they wanted meaningful immigration reform. I thought this was something that everybody could actually agree on. They're digging in their heels in a way that is unproductive right now, given the crisis at the border, given that 800,000 people are out of work. Let me ask you about this, because the president says he's still going to have a State of the Union. Will he? I mean, Nancy Pelosi is trying to cancel it. How does this work?
The President of the United States has a duty under the Constitution to make a report to the Congress on the State of the Union. Speaker Pelosi communicated a concern to the president about security issues. The president carefully reviewed that. Department of Homeland Security and Secret Service did. And the president said he was pleased to accept the invitation. As we sit down at this moment, I understand the speaker has indicated that she will not accommodate the president's opportunity to address the nation. And I think the American people are just tired of all the posturing by the Democrats in Washington, D.C. Look, let me say it again. 2,000 people a day are attempting to come into this country illegally. We have a system that is virtually being overwhelmed on our southern border with families and unaccompanied children. Our system was never designed to deal with illegal immigration of that nature at the southern border. The president's absolutely determined to get the resources to build a wall, to secure the border, to answer all the needs of Homeland Security. But the president's also made it very clear he's willing to offer a temporary relief to some 700,000 people who were brought into this country as children through no fault of their own, and who were given relief under the Obama administration in the DACA program, constitutionally unfounded relief. But the president has said we'll give them relief under the law on a temporary basis. We'll also clarify the status, temporary protective status. The time has come for Democrats to come to the table, negotiate in good faith. We'll address the crisis at our border. We'll reopen the government, and we'll get on with the people's business here in Washington, D.C. The American people deserve nothing less.
I think that sounds like a great plan.